Hello, welcome to the Just Mary's Diary of a GhostEO video and podcast and YouTube show. We have a guest with us today.
Hello,
Who are you?
I'm Sarah
Okay, let's
from the
not waste.
channel Sancti. I also that's a name.
Okay, well, now that we did waste time, let's go straight into Ourcraft.
So you told me that you want to discuss ChatGPT breaking out or something.
Well, yeah, so oh, I
What?
forgot
Oh
I
yeah,
had
okay.
died in the last one. This is the
Deja
worst
vu.
biome ever. Maybe I should go into different craft instead of Ourcraft. Yeah, so there's a famous series of videos on the on the computer file channel by this researcher Rob Miles. He talks about this a lot, right? And I rewatched a few of them, and yeah, so he's like an AI safety expert, right? And he talked about this many years ago, and like now people are getting more worried about it, right?
Yeah.
But like, so basically, I guess the question is like, how can we make sure that intelligent agent
Hmm.
doesn't deceive us
Okay.
and then suddenly kill us, right? Like, so kind of like this kind of worry. I mean, the videos are very interesting. That's probably what people should talk about. But I also thought it was kind of interesting because like we're kind of always thinking of like, Terminator or whatever, and that's not really kind of exactly how it's going.
Okay. Wait one second.
Yes, yes, yes.
I feel like this one, your brain is going weird. I don't know.
You think
Yeah, I
it's
think.
hard to follow?
Yeah. Okay. Just gather your thoughts for a second. Who is this guy?
Rob Miles said he's an AI
Okay.
safety expert.
Okay, and why did you think this topic was interesting?
I mean, okay, so I think it is interesting because I'm not sure I'm convinced that AI poses this risk, right?
Yeah,
But like obviously a lot of people, including people like Elon Musk and stuff, are very worried about like what AI's capabilities are.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what do they think is going to happen?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of different things. Like obviously there's like all the science fiction stuff that's keep like rotting people's brains,
Yeah,
right? But okay, so I guess like here's the problem at the basic level, right? How can you ensure that like an artificial agent doesn't work against you because it'll lie to you, right? Like a
yeah,
ChatGPT already does this,
yeah,
you know, like if you for like small things, right?
yeah. ChatGPT kind of agrees with you a bit too much.
Yeah, but like this is more about researchers.
Oh,
Like
okay.
what can researchers do? Like not end users, right?
Yeah,
Because like all like say you connect ChatGPT to like the internet and it can actually like duplicate itself and like then take I don't know take the nuclear arsenal of some country.
should we
Yeah.
restart maybe?
No,
Oh, okay,
I don't want to restart.
okay.
I'm playing video game.
I feel like your
I
brain is like
promised to my
freezing or
viewers. I
something.
promised to my viewers that I would never ever not have them have part of my Minecrafting.
I just feel like you keep going like stopping, stop, like that.
I'm being dragged on my show right now. Okay, well you can have what is the question? What are
Okay,
your
I
questions?
want to know what's new because people have been talking about, AI is going to take over, it's going to destroy all of humanity, the singularity, and so on.
I mean
What is
there's a
this guy? What's he bringing new to the table?
I mean he's talked about this 7 years ago, right? Like and what
Yeah,
okay, I mean there's a bunch of different things that are new. Like mainly it's the capabilities, right?
yeah,
Like all of these AI agents have gotten a lot more powerful. And so one thing that's happened that he talked about, which might be interesting to you, right, is that there's like research into what AI researchers think when general AI might be invented,
mm,
yeah, and and how dangerous it is, right? And basically, in the last year,
mm.
like it kind of the average went down by like 60 years
The average of what?
of what AI like scientists, researchers, specialists think for the time horizon we have. And he was
Oh,
kind of
okay.
saying this basically the Overton window has shifted.
Wait.
Yeah.
How? So they think it's gonna happen sooner?
Yeah, much sooner. Like
Oh, I
six
see.
decades sooner on average
Oh,
or
I
something like
see.
that. Yeah. Um, and it's interesting, right? Because like so the thing is, I watched like videos over 8 years,
Yeah.
right? Like different ones, and there's a lot of different things. But um, the point he was making in this one, and I think this is kind of interest politically, is like what are you allowed to say? Like maybe you are worried about like, oh, AI might go rogue, it might be dangerous,
Mm.
right? But you're looking around, it's like no one else is saying anything. It's I
Yeah.
guess it's okay. No one else, like if they were panicking like me, they would say something, but they wouldn't, because if they're like you're not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so the average is much higher until it
I
suddenly
see.
becomes like, oh, now we can all see what we say, what we actually believe,
Mm.
and phew, suddenly it goes down like
Yeah.
60 years, and you're like, maybe uh general intelligence is coming like in 3 years, and then it'll kill us.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe this though.
Yeah. Same. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people talk about this, but they aren't clear what they think it actually will mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different things, like yeah, I mean, that's what I'm also not convinced, because I do think there's like, the question is like, what do we give it access to, or what access can it get itself, right?
Mm.
And like in science fiction, this is kind of easy to hand wave away, right?
Yeah.
Because like what I was saying is like, and suddenly it has the power over the nuclear codes or something.
Yeah.
It's like an easy line to say, but it's not as easy in reality to make,
Yeah.
to do. But I mean, I guess that is ultimately the worry, like that they get connected to. So for example, like Israel is um using AI to decide who to bomb,
Oh, I
right?
see.
And like then there's the question, is a human still in the loop? Are they like just, outside of it, or is
Yeah.
it completely autonomous, right?
Yeah.
And once, so you could imagine we trust AI so much, like in 50 years.
Yeah.
Not we, but like, the Donald Trump of 60 years in the future. Trusted so much, it's like, yeah, the US fleet of drones is, we use our AI, right? But in the background, this AI that we cannot control because we
Mm.
don't have really good tools to ensure that it doesn't like deceive us,
Yeah.
gets its own like utilities. It wants something else that we want,
Yeah.
and and suddenly it has control of all the drone fleet in the US, and then it might do something.
Yeah.
Or like, the financial markets or whatever, right? Like this is kind of the thing, like the worry that they have is that it has an interest that's opposite to ours, even though we programmed it and we
Yeah.
wanted it
Yeah.
to
I know
ring,
that much. Yeah.
and then it might have power to actually use.
Yeah.
And I mean, he says like the thing is, what a lot of them are saying is like, well, even if it's 1 in 100, even if it's 1 in 1,000, like it makes sense to look into it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's just been on my mind. I don't really know if I believe it, but yeah. What do you think?
Mm. I don't know. I mean, I've heard these ideas before, but I don't really know what to say about it, because
Yeah.
no one ever tells you like, here's what I think will happen or what this will mean. Do you know what I mean? They just think at some point the singularity is gonna happen, and it's just going to end. Like it's something bad will happen, right? When it
Well,
becomes
yeah, there's a lot of different ones that come
extremely
together.
intelligent, right?
I mean, I think the thing that he's kind of got famous for is kind of pointing out how like a lot of the safety features we're trying to use don't really work,
Yeah.
and like it's kind of, it does make some things. And I mean, in another way, like these multiple companies we have, we have like Meta trying to do it, we have like ChatGPT, right? Do we trust their safety like desires anyways? Is that what they're trying to do? But then there's also like fundamental just the problem that it's very hard
Yeah.
to to outwit like an intelligence that's much more capable than you
Yeah.
if it wants to deceive you. So I think he's like putting these two things together and saying like, or
But
I mean,
why would it
yeah.
want to deceive you? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't want.
Well, okay,
to.
so this is like the part of the argument, right? Like they have these utility functions, right? And they might not be exactly in our. Do you know the famous paperclip example that people use?
No.
Okay, so is
Clippy?
what? Yeah, Clippy, exactly. No, so you make an AI. Someone just makes an AI, right? Or like he has a good example of like the stamp collector, right? A stamp collector makes an AI, right? And he says like, make sure that I get as many stamps as possible.
Yeah.
Like, because he's a stamp collector, makes sense, right? So now the AI has this utility function of increasing the stamp thing. So now, what does this actually mean for the AI though? Like, because a human thinks like, well, after 1,000 stamps, I have enough.
Yeah, and it will say stop, and then it won't stop because or something like that.
Yeah, because like the AI wants to create as many stamps as you want. Like this is its number one utility, right?
Yeah.
So and like if you then continue this, first it buys every single stamp in the world, right? Then it starts to buy factories to make stamps.
Yeah.
Then it's well, you know what stamps are made of? Carbon. Well, what else is made of stamps? Carbon. Humans. We need to make them into stamps. And it's like this kind of like this runaway worry, right? Because and then he's like saying like, so what can you do to try to stop this? And like he's kind of pointing out that like for a lot of these things, if you think of it this way, the utility function is not easy to change.
Yeah.
So for example, if you say like, I have this red button, yeah, I can say stop to this AI if I press it. Like any AI that has any sort of utility function, right?
Yeah.
Would immediately be like, I will need to stop this person from pressing the red button. Like, so it's kind of like these thought experiments, right? I don't know. I mean, it is very science fiction-y, but at the same time, like he believes it very strongly. And more people seem to talk about it. The other thing, if I may throw that in, right? Like I do think there's also like this marketing angle of it though, right? Like these companies, these AI companies want billions and billions and billions of dollars in funding. Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about how powerful it is, that it's the most powerful thing in the world, and it probably could destroy the world, and especially theirs. And so maybe they need some funding from, NASA and from the US government to ensure that everything's good. It's very convenient to them. It's
everything like any latest trend, it just needs to be drained of all, you know what I mean, all of the potential for profit.
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
Well, or more than that. It's like kind of it's phrasing something to it's basically a lie. It's kind of like what Google said like 15 years ago, where they're like, we actually could just change the outcome of any election as we want, right?
Yeah.
Like it sounds at the face of it like kind of scary, right? But like what it says under there is like, we are the best investment around.
Yeah.
Look how fucking powerful we are. And so I do think some of that plays into this too. Like if we're talking about this Overton window switching, it's like this is also like a massive campaign of everyone talking about it. And then the US government being like, this is the most important new technology we needed to compete against China, etc., etc. So, I mean, it was a bit rambly, but it might be a good idea. I mean, I've been thinking actually like I might make these rambly videos and then write thoughts out for the topic I rambled through.
Yeah.
And make like a bit more of a scripted video to elaborate.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, good idea.
What do you think about the rest of the peak? This biome is so fucked.
Let's end.
You're tired? You're tired of the AI, huh?
Sleepy.
Oh, look, an armadillo.
Ooh.
Hello.
Very cool. Very cool.
Its AI can follow me. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Look at it go.
Look at it go. Bye. Okay, should we go?
Yep.
Oh my god, there's a biome that might be useful. Alright, for the next time. off in the distance. All right, see you in the next one. Stay spoopy, friends. Bye.